y'all. Here we are at my freshman college year. And yeah, I've already spoken a lot on my college year. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did really good my freshman year of college. I actually was able to earn scholarships. I actually made all A's my freshman year of college, taking business calculus, Cal 1, Cal 2. I took chemistry. I took writing and philosophy. And yeah, I really enjoyed my freshman year of college. I learned a lot and I did a lot. I was able to work at the computer lab, and that was a lot of fun for me. And also, I met a friend from high school, Rory, and we became really good friends. And we were hanging out all the time, partying all the time. And also, my friend's dad, my friend's dealer, befriended me, and he would come get me and take me out to his home out in the country. And I got to meet his roommate, Larry. And as I left off on my last video, I was saying how they gave me a job opportunity to sell drugs on the campus. And I was ecstatic. I loved this opportunity. But I was also scared. I'm just a little girl. I'm not that big and I'm not that strong. And I'm like, what do y'all think I can do? But they were like, oh, it'll be fine. But anyway, I decided to introduce them to Rory, and they really liked him, and they agreed that me and Rory could go into business with them. And so Rory and I began selling on campus, and it was a lot of fun. We really did not make a whole lot of money doing this. It really wasn't about the money, but I got a lot of weed. I always had all the weed that I could smoke. So that's how I felt for me. It was like free weed to do this side job. So that's just how I felt. And I liked it. And I was really strict. I had a lot of rules around me doing this. And I was very careful, if you could say that. But yeah, yeah, another thing that Rory and I did our freshman year of college was we would play Hug a Cop, where you would get high as you possibly could get and go and hug a cop. So we did that a whole lot. And, I was crazy. We were crazy. And I don't know. I really am lucky that things turned out the way that they did, honestly. But yeah, I also was still dating Zack, and Zack was in prison, and I was going to see him every weekend, and also hanging out in Spring City all the time. And at the end of the school year, Zack got out of prison, and I was so excited to see him. I couldn't wait to see him all the way down south to where the prison was to pick him up, and he was not there. He arranged for one of his cousins to pick him up, and he did not let me know. It was going to be a in-your-face girl for not being faithful the whole time. I didn't realize that then. That's what it was. And so I was a little bit confused. I had his car. I thought that I was picking him up. I was so excited. I was not picking him up, and so it was another 2-hour drive to Spring City, and I went to his mother's house, and there he was, sitting in the kitchen, and I was so excited, and I was like, hey! I ran up and was going to hug him, and he pushed me down, and he called me a slut. He let me know that I am a slut, and that's whenever I learned that I had failed the test, whenever I flashed him at the prison. And I realized that hanging out with his friends was not a safe move. Brent had told Zack that every single weekend that I would go see him in the prison, I would come back to Spring City and sleep with a different guy. And Zack believed him. And Zack's let me know how a lot of my drawings and a lot of my letters proved that, I was messing up, And so, what can you do? What can you do? I thought that I was proving my loyalty to this man, and I did not at all. It completely failed. I think back on my freshman year, there were guys that wanted to date me. And I didn't just shut them down. It was kind of like a, in your face, you can't have this, you know? Like, very toxic. But it's so crazy how, one of these guys that asked me out, and he was just like, I understand, and do you want to just be friends? And we were friends, and he's grown up to be a physicist, He's like so smart. He's married, he's got kids, he loves his life. I don't know, I think about things like that sometimes, like, you chose, like, I chose to stay loyal to a man in prison who literally hates my guts. I don't know. I can't explain it. But Zack dumped me. He dumped me right then and there, and I went back to, college was over. It was summertime, so I couldn't stay in the dorms. And so I went back to my dad's house, and I stayed at my dad's, and kind of depressed. I feel like I believe that we can change the past. I believe that. I believe that I have changed the past before. And I think that it's really cool. But also, there's some things about the past you think that you would change, but sometimes it's better left there. That summer, I didn't really do anything. I shrunk. I fell backwards. I lost myself. I felt sorry for myself. I was a victim. I was a victim of my own self, really. It seems like if I could go back, I would shake myself and tell myself, snap out of it. You are a gorgeous girl and you've got a whole life ahead of you. What in the world are you doing being sad over this loser? For real, wake up. But the truth is, I needed to go through that. It was the catalyst that taught me about the depths of depression. It was one of my most depressive times in my life. It became hard to get up every day. It became hard to breathe every breath. It became hard to just be. I felt really defeated. Really defeated. But you gotta carry on, right? So how do you carry on? Well, for me, marijuana and people. And who cares who the people are? Loser here, loser there, whatever. I don't care. Marijuana and people. Because, whenever I'm around people, I don't have to be around myself. I don't have to think about what myself is going through. I don't have to worry about myself. I can just be like, hey, I'm here, and be there with them and hang out, smoke weed. I began to smoke a lot more weed and hang out with a lot more people. And honestly, I began to hang out at Robert and Larry's house, like, all the time. Why not? They live way, way, way out in the country. They have, like, all these animals. There's all these turkeys, all these chickens, all these ducks. It just stinks like a movo in their house, but that's because they're also growing. Gotta cover up the smell. And birds cover up the smell. Oh, goodness. I loved being there. I loved hanging out with them. Larry was an old Vietnam vet. He had all kinds of stories. He chose to go to Vietnam. He said that it really wasn't a choice, though. He knew that he was going to get drafted, so he said, I'll go before you draft me. So that's how that went. And, Yeah, he was an old hippie, and we would walk the land, and he would teach me things about the land. He would teach me how to listen to the trees, how to sit and talk to the rocks, how to feel the land, how, like how to notice where certain things are growing, what it means, and just connect to Mother Earth. And it was a beautiful thing, and I really enjoyed my time there. It was healing and necessary almost. In my freshman year, I would hang out with Rory a whole lot, and we would do a lot of drugs. And we found this other dude who lived nearby in the dorms, and he also always hung out with us. And then we found another dude who lived across the street in a house, renting a house with these people, and he was renting the house with these hippie people. And all of us would always hang out. It's like Rory and two dudes and me. So I was like always hanging out with guys. And yeah, I guess that looks bad. I guess it does, but I was always hanging out with guys, and I just relate to them more. They're chill. I just want to chill, relax, hang out. I don't really want to go over drama or try to be pretty, try to be better, any of that stuff. So I hung out with dudes. I really did. I enjoyed their company better. But yeah, one time we all went camping, and it was really crazy because Roy and we knew what we were doing, but the other two were so confused, and we were like, we're going to go get some campfire wood. And campfire wood is wood that's already on the ground already, it's fell off, it's branches and stuff that have fell. And we come back, and one of these dudes is literally cutting a tree sapling down. And we're like, you can't burn that. But it was a really crazy experience, and it was a lot of fun just going out in the wilderness and allowing Mother Nature to heal you, really. And yeah, we would always hang out. You know, I was one of the guys, and I always wanted to be one of the guys for some reason. I no longer want to be one of the guys. I love being one of the girls. But back then, I really wanted to be one of the guys, and I felt like I was one of the guys. And it's like I felt like I was something or something. Also, Rory and I, on my senior year, we decided to join clubs. Let's go see what clubs we want to join. We decided to join the Environmental Alliance because, yeah, we love the environment. We love Mother Earth. Roy and I are very hippie. He's this hippie gay guy. And, yeah, I was just this hippie crazy girl. And we joined the Environmental Alliance. And on our first day there, we're there, and they're like making votes for who's going to be president, vice president. And literally, Rory and I were voted co-vice president. They were like, well, they voted, and Rory and I both won, and they were like, what will we do? And then we were like, we don't mind sharing it. And they were like, good idea. We'll do co-vice president. And so literally that year, my freshman year of college, Environmental Alliance had a co-vice presidents. And Rory and I, we really were active in this. For us, this was real. Taking care of the environment and being a steward of Mother Earth is real. This is real work. This is actually stuff you got to do. And we put together different events for us to connect to Earth. And we also did different protests. And actually, where that college is, a little square patch of sanctuary ground that we protested for, that one, at least while we're concreting over all of Mother Earth, we should at least leave a square patch to remember her by. And I really think that it's silly that we wanted to do that. Like, I don't know if that really had a big impact, but our heart was there. Our intent was there. We're trying to help Mother Earth and not hurt her. So I think that was a beautiful thing. Yeah, I guess that's all I got for you in this video. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. You mean more to me than you will ever know, truly. I hope that you feel loved. I hope that you feel blessed. And as always, be blessed in love. That's all she got.